Good people, this is Sam here at She Does the Most, and today I am in my kitchen processing apples. So I have these apples that I need to do something with before they go bad. So I am breaking out my new apple peeler, corer, slicer, and I have never used this before, but I am using it for the first time with you guys. So this front part is where you attach the apples. There is the peeler corer. That section right there adjusts the handle. And on that back side is a little lever that suctions this instrument down to the countertop. So it's actually pretty strong. And so I am just pulling this back, and this is how you load the apples in there. So let's get started so I can show you. Okay, so this is my very first apple that I am going to try to use. And at first it is a little just not confusing, but I'm very unfamiliar, so I'm just trying to see how all of the parts work, trying to make sure that I don't impale myself or slice up my fingers trying to use this. So here the instructions say to add the apple stem side, and I am trying to push it up with this peeler section. Here I start turning, and it is coring and slicing in the front, but it is not peeling the skin off. And I don't know why I am staring at that section in disbelief. I'm just trying to figure out what is going on. There is this little dangly lever over there with the peeler. Not sure what that is supposed to do, but I see that when I hold it, that it actually peels the apple. Now, I know from watching other videos that that is not exactly how it's supposed to work, and it does get better in the future. I promise you guys, once I peel a couple of the apples, it becomes a lot more intuitive. So I am keeping the apple scraps, mostly just the skin or whatever I'm not using for applesauce or pies. I'm not keeping the cores. I know that they say it's perfectly fine to make cider with that, but I don't want to risk, any sort of cyanide poisoning with the littles, so I'm just going to put the cores in the trash. I don't even want to feed them to my chickens. I don't want to risk them getting sick. And so here I am just dicing up what I have peeled. I'm peeling off the skin that was left over. I was really hoping that this wasn't how the process was going to go in the future, because it is a lot of apples that I have to get through. But don't worry, it does get better. And then I do go to a different angle, because obviously this is not very easy for you to see what is going on. So I do end up changing up my camera a little bit so that you guys can see peeling from a different angle. So here I have another plastic bag, and this is actually for the apples that's going to go in the freezer. I'm going to make apple pie, but not tonight. It is very, very late at this point, and I just want to get through peeling and coring. So here I have adjusted my camera so that you can see from another angle, but as I'm looking at this, I'm just like, okay sis, I know that that's a plastic bag, but no one can see through this plastic bag. And so after cutting up this apple, I do end up moving it out of the way so you guys can at least get a decent shot of what this is supposed to look like. And please excuse all of my dirty dishes in the back. If I waited for my kitchen to be perfectly clean in order to film this, it would never happen. So Here I am loading up an apple at a good angle for you guys. You see, I am just flying through it at this point. Like, once you really get into a good swing of it, you know, you can really fly through some of these apples. And so, like with all the others, I am just saving the skins, and I am dicing up what has been peeled and cored to go in this bag. I also have a separate set that is in a small pot that I'm going to be making applesauce with. So here I have a pretty little pot, and this is where I have some of my diced apples. I just added some water to the bottom of my pot, and I am going to cook this for an undetermined amount of time until it is soft. Some of my apples were pretty tart, so my kids weren't going to really enjoy the applesauce that way. So I decided to add some sugar. And as I'm watching this, I hear my mother in my head telling me white sugar is going to kill you. I do end up using brown sugar in a second project, but for now I am using white sugar, and I am just mashing my apples once they are soft. I wasn't sure how the kids were going to like it, but it ended up being a hit. By the end of the weekend, there was no more applesauce left, and so they did end up really enjoying it, especially with the chunks. So here I have a large mason jar. I am not going to can this applesauce. It is just going in the refrigerator to eat right away. This is not for long-term storage. This is the completed project. It's so cute. It was so fun to make. It was so late at night. I felt very accomplished for completing it. And here I'm going to include a picture at the end of the first day. These are still some apples that I have left over for fresh eating. Apple scraps on the left for cider, apple slices on the right for pies, and then my core peeler slicer in the back. So here I am moving on to the next project, and this is actually making apple cider from the scraps that I have. I will give you guys a little opportunity to hear what my background actually sounds like while I am working on this video. Your daughter is attacking me! What is going on over there? Okay, so no one died. I am back to adding my spices. I'm using orange, cinnamon, allspice, cloves, and I added some nutmeg. I wasn't following a specific recipe, but it is just generally what is in a cider. And so giving it a good stir and then letting it come to a boil. Once it does come to a boil, then I placed it on low and actually had it simmer for about 3 hours. And so this is just an easy project to have on the back burner and just allow it to go through a portion of your day, and then you can come back later on to deal with it. Once it has boiled for an amount of time that you determine, so taste it, see if it is appley enough for you, you will strain off all of the extra. So I'm not doing anything fancy, just a strainer over a smaller pot. I did decide that I wanted to boil it without the apple scraps just to help concentrate that flavor. I didn't really have a lot of flesh, and so I wanted it to be pretty appley tasting. So here I just have it coming to a rapid boil. Once again, taste it to determine if that is how you like it. And then once it is, you can shut it off. I allowed mine to cool down before putting it in the bottle. I purchased a lot of these smaller bottles from the Dollar Tree for my kombucha, but I think I got these larger ones from IKEA. And so, pretty self explanatory, just place a funnel and fill it up. So, I actually end up pouring a cup because I wanted to know how it tastes. And I took a sip of it and it was absolutely delicious. The family ended up enjoying it. Fortunately, I have some left over to bring into the week. My 8-year-old likes it despite the fact that she does not enjoy cinnamon. So I would say that this has been a hit. Alright, thank you for watching, guys. Make sure if you like this content that you like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.